All right. Good morning. Good morning to Soul Soup, the Sunday morning online service of the Oneness Center. And I'm Dr. Janette Freeman. I'm happy to be here this morning, just sharing a little bit of, as we say, a little bit of food for your soul through a little bit of spiritual teaching and some warmth for your heart through some meditation practice or meditation process to be able to integrate whatever the teaching is today. So today's teaching is about living in higher consciousness more consistently and be able to do that. And I'm going to be talking about 3 steps to be able to live just as a tool. I love tools. I'm always coming up with tools because on this journey, it seems like tools are helpful. I don't know about you, but the mind is kind of crazy sometimes. And the mind can get us going in the future and anxiety in the past and regrets. And the mind is constantly jumping around over and over. And in this spiritual journey, we're here waking up so that we can begin to see all of the mind in order to live in higher consciousness. Our true identity is spirit. Our true identity is love. Our true identity is this. And in order to live at that level of a higher vibration, more in alignment with that truth and with that experience, it's important to be able to see all the different things that are happening and gain awareness so that we might finally get to choice and to begin to choose new beliefs and to choose new perceptions and new realities. So, so that's kind of the context of what's been on my mind lately, and just feeling my own journey with going from a place of really just presence and peace and really getting that the presence is right here living. And then what the heck, like an hour later, just the outer world is so big and consuming and fear-based, and I can just go from here to here to here to here to here to here, and it seems like even more seeing, even more transformation, even more seeing. And sometimes it feels like constant barrage of waves breaking upon the sand. It's like we're the ocean, right? Like imagine that our spiritual reality is like we're the allness of the ocean. That's all that we are, this massive ocean, and it includes everything and everyone and every one of our experiences. And we are get lost in just, I am the wave that's being thrown down upon the sand. Oh, that is who I am right now. That is who I am. I'm this, and I'm getting banged up against this rock or something else happening. We get lost in thinking that I am this separate wave. And so as we are able through spiritual practice and awareness and present moment practices, we're able to tap in and experience, oh, wait a minute, I am the ocean. I am the ocean. Now I go play as this wave or play as this wave, but really I'm the ocean, which includes it all. And so along this path, it's really, to me, it's like the reminder is like, what is really real? And making this choice to perceive that. And so I want to share a story. A lot of you that have heard me talk before, I'm sure you've heard of this. You've heard me tell this story because it's so profound. And it came to me this morning, and I love this story. And it's I want to tell it in first person because it can be much more effective that way. And it's a true story of a young boy named Isaiah, who was just 12 years old. And he was a Holocaust survivor, and he was 12 years old when he was in Auschwitz. And he tells the story, and I'm going to just tell you from his perspective. It was in a magazine article, but written by Andrew Harvey many years ago. And he says, in Auschwitz, I discovered there's one thing that I was even more terrified of than death. Because sometimes when you live in an atmosphere of terror, you realize that all the fears you shrink from in normal circumstances are relatively minor. And that there is one terror that everyone has, which is overwhelming, and that hardly anyone ever talks about, because very few have gone through enough to find it out. It is the terror of love. It's the terror of love's embrace of all things, of all beings, and of all events. Everyone pretends to know that they want to experience love. But to know and experience love is to die to all your private fantasies and agendas and your visions of right and wrong and good and bad. I was 12 years old, and it was midwinter, and I was in despair. My mother, father, and sister had all been killed. I knew by then that the chances of surviving or being saved were very, very slim. There was a guard that was particularly sadistic, and he used to beat me with his leather strap until I would bleed. And I was only 12. What did I know about anything, and what did I know about God? All I knew that I had to decide once and for all whether the horror that I saw all around me was the ultimate reality, or whether the joy and the tenderness that I could still feel stirring in my heart was the truth. I knew it couldn't be both. And I thought about this for a long time. No, thinking is really too polite. I struggled with it. I wrestled with it like Jacob wrestled with the angel. But I had to know, or I would drown in darkness. And for the first time, I began to pray. And my prayer, which I began to repeat at every moment, was only 4 words: show me the truth. Show me the truth. Of course, nothing came, not a single insight, not a vision, not a dream with a comforting angel, nothing. But I went on praying more and more desperately. And then early one winter morning, I heard a quiet voice that said to me, "You must decide." What did it mean? For a week, I wrestled with that. What could that voice mean? And how could I, just a child of the universe, a child, decide the truth of the universe? And slowly, really slowly, actually, I began to understand. And I understood that I was always free to decide whether the world I was being shown was the real one, or whether the world I felt in my heart was the truth. And when I really thought about it, the second choice seemed even more frightening than the first. What if love was the real choice? Would I have to love the guard who had beaten me? Would I have to forgive their apparatus that killed my parents and hundreds and thousands of others? And would I have to even forgive God for allowing these horrors to take place? And it was indescribable torment. And it was even much worse than I had actually suffered under the belt. And then one morning I awoke and I knew what I had to do. I had to choose what was at the bottom of my heart. The fire I felt there when I thought of my mother or our cat at home, or the flowers or the vegetables in the kitchen garden. So I went into the camp yard, covered with snow, with gray, lowering, hopeless sky overhead. And closing my eyes, I screamed with my whole being silently, I choose love. I choose love. I choose love. And then it happened. When I opened my eyes, the sun, not of this world, had come out and blazing in glory all around me. And the snow, even along the barbed wire, glittered like diamonds, and the air was sweet. The guard I hated came out at that moment. He didn't see me, but I saw him, and this was the true miracle. I felt no fear at all, no hatred, only a burning pity that scalded my eyes with tears, and I did not feel vulnerable like I had feared. The thing in me that was crying was stronger than anything or anyone that I had ever encountered, and it felt like a calm column of fire that nothing could put out. Somehow I survived for another year until release came, and no one noticed, but I was different. And whenever I could, I would gaze at the way the ordinary light changed on the ground, along the wires, on the roofs of the huts and the crematoria. And I know now whose light I was seeing. And the fire in my chest did never leave, and it has never left. And I have tried to live and breathe and act and choose from it, from love, and from this truth that I made the decision was real. And I love that story because I love the reminder that here's someone experiencing way harder things than most of us will ever have to experience. But ultimately, we all have to decide what is real. So today, I want to share just a practice and just a tool that can help bring us back, because I think everyone that would be on this call is in the middle having had spiritual awakenings. Spiritual awakenings where we really get that we're not just this separate way. We're not just this separate person. That we're part of the universe. We're part of this wholeness. And from that bigger, wider perspective, then it's easy to choose love because it's just known. It is who we are. So I want us to look at what I've called the CB-Me method. And I just made this up, so don't look for it, don't Google it, but it's been very helpful as I've been working with it, with my class and with myself, really. And so it's the SBM. I want you to remember it. That's why I do these things, so you can remember it, the CB-Me method. And to help us live in higher consciousness, and to help break even higher consciousness down to understand it a little bit more. I love my metaphor of the 4-story house. And so imagine that you are a 4-story house, and the first floor, the first 2 floors represents your states of awareness, your emotional state. When you're experiencing stress, separation, you're experiencing what we call in science the fight or flight response. We've been, introduced to even a thought or a perception, and it's caused some sort of fight or flight, some sort of stress in us. It could be a really hard, challenging life experience that we're going through, or it could just be, passing emotional states. at different times. And so the bottom floor represents our flight response, flight, our run. So that might be feelings and experiences, like it could be as hopeless and depressed, or it could be just isolating, staying, not wanting to be around anybody, kind of running away, not being seen. It's a pulling back, and there's a fear to it. There's some sort of fear or response that's happening in the body, in the brain, and in the hormones that are produced. And then we've got the second floor, which represents the fight response. All right, so these are two responses that we automatically go through depending upon our own particular programming and when we have a perception of stress. All right, so those are all perceptions that come from this separate self-reality. And it comes from just stress that I'm not safe, I'm not loved, something's wrong. My belief systems that I have internally set up that I believe will make me safe have been triggered somehow. So it's just different states that we may go through several times in a day or not, but it's important to be able to see that. Then the third floor represents, so the third and fourth floor represent what I'd call higher consciousness. And the third floor represents where we're living much more present, where just how we're living our life. We're creative, intuitive, making goals, doing things, moving, talking to people, not in a triggered stress state. It's happiness, it's love, it's energetic. I call that the penthouse, right? And it's just, I love being in the penthouse. We know that we're connected to a higher power. We're in tune with that higher power. And so that's the penthouse, the third floor. And then the fourth floor is the observatory. And that's the part of us that can see. That's the part of us that's present, can be very, very present. We have expanded awareness at the fourth floor. This is the part of us that's awake and can see. So the first thing in this whole process, the first thing is to see ourselves. And so have you ever had some sort of stress response, and this is just a stress to something that somebody said, and it made you angry, and you internalized it and kept living with that, and it kept going there, and you could have been angry at 10 minutes or an hour or a day before you even realized that you were angry. It could just be a subtle kind of irritating anger. And we become unconscious that we have slipped into unconsciousness. And as long as we're unconscious that we have gone there, then it's hopeless for us to do anything. In the spiritual awakening journey, we are waking up to see ourselves. Seeing that I'm angry is great. It's not about it being wrong or anything else. When we see, then we can go to the next step, which is be. When I see, then I can go, oh, I could have a V8, right? So in the moment, the second step is be. And this is the place where we can, this is the place that will process what has been coming up, and it will allow us to move on. It's being in the present moment. Being in the present moment, and I'll give you a couple of things that we'll do to do that. This is an important thing I wanted to share with you, is what's happening physiologically when we go through that fight or flight response is that there's just an automatic process going on, and the brain is producing these chemicals that are creating that feeling in the body that is aligned with whatever state we're in, whether it's happiness or whether it's anger or whether it's fear, adrenaline, whatever. So, but the thing is that what we know from how the brain works, what we know from how the brain works is that when you feel anything, the brain chemistry responsible for that feeling stays in your body for 90 seconds. That's it, 90 seconds. So from the time you start feeling angry to the time the anger chemicals are out of your body, that's only 90 seconds. But why do we stay angry longer than that? Because chances are we think the thought again. She really made me angry. She had no right. That was mean. And then you release the anger chemicals again. So as long as you keep revisiting the same thought again and again, you stay angry, and sometimes for a long time. So that's why we have to see that we're there. I'm there. And then, can you imagine, if we do a practice for 90 seconds to just go into the present moment for 90 seconds, what happens is that moves out of our body and we become present, and we tap into higher consciousness, we tap into the presence. And until we tap into that present moment consciousness, we can't make a choice, because no information is getting to the frontal lobe. We're completely lost in unconsciousness. So we're going to do a little experiment. The other thing so number 2, be present. But I also want it to stand for breathe evenly. So this is a breath practice that requires you to put all of your attention on breathing for only 90 seconds. And that's to put all your attention on breathing for 90 seconds and try breathing evenly. So it's just one breathing technique where you would focus right here and breathe, say 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, or 3 or 2 or 5 or whatever's natural for you, but you get your breathing so it's in an even state for 90 seconds. And though your mind will really, especially if you're in a triggered state, your mind will really pull to another direction. And so that's why you need something really to focus on. And so focusing completely on your breath in order to have a consistent breath for 90 seconds will help you stay very present and allow the chemicals to move out of your body. And then you'll be able to connect to your breath and connect to the present moment more easily. So I wonder if you'd be willing to practice it. I want you to see what 90 seconds is like. So wherever you are, just close your eyes and just do a little quick 90-second practice. That's right. And just put all of your attention right there at the tip of the nose. Just find your evenly paced breathing. Breathing evenly. Breathing in and out. Focusing on the nose, in and out. All right, that's 90 seconds. Just notice how you feel right now. Just pay attention. Notice, did your heart open? Did you feel more relaxed? 90 seconds only. Sometimes we think that we've got to really just do a long meditation. Returning to higher consciousness is to simply be aware that you're not there. It's not that it's bad or any judgment whatsoever, but to just simply see where we are and then take 90 seconds to breathe and to bring the attention upon the breath, to be present. So breathing evenly is one practice to have to pull attention to one point. And there are lots of practices in order to be in the present moment so that choice becomes possible. And that brings us to the final thing, which is me. So it's C, B, and me. And what I mean by me is once we're able to choose, it's like Isaiah choosing love. In that moment of choice, in that moment of choice of really choosing that reality, that love was real. Choose the me means I can choose what's real about me. What is real about me? And that could be that could be really like, what's real right now is that I'm safe. Or what's real right now is that I am healthy. You know, depending upon what caused the trigger and what caused us to feel unsafe or something in the initial response. So it's like, I have a choice to choose, who am I? I am love. I am the presence. Or to choose, I know that I am safe. All is well. This too shall pass. I am. So this final thing is, becomes the choice of our whole life is, who am I? Who am I? Now we know, like when we're stepping in higher consciousness levels, on levels 3 and 4, we know who we are. We're part of this infinite self. We're part of God. We're part of knowing that we're not alone here on this planet Earth spinning around, that we are connected and a part of higher intelligence. We're connected and we're part of a higher vibration. We're connected. No, we're part of love. However we want to say it, that God is our source, that we're provided for, that we're supported. So I also wanted to share one more thing, and this is about this choice from The Pathway to Roses by Christian Larson. He said there are 2 distinct worlds open to man in his present state of existence. In one he finds tribulation, in the other he finds peace. The first is material. That means our perception is that this material reality is the only truth. And the other is spiritual. And that's where we know we're connected and there's a bigger purpose and that all is well. And he says it is man's privilege to choose which one he would have as his present abode. And then it's like, why then is man weak, sick, and afraid? And he says, the answer is simple, because we cannot serve 2 masters. We cannot take 2 paths at the same time. When we come to the parting of ways, we must take the one that leads to the light. And on this journey of higher consciousness, you know, it's like this truth we have to return to again and again and again every day, to come back and remind ourselves of this higher truth. I have to be spiritually fed all the time. So this present moment, the present moment is our doorway into presence. The present moment is our doorway into higher consciousness. And so we can see when we're not there, and we can see so that we can choose to be in the present moment, and then we can choose to know something and to know a higher truth about who I am. So let's go into today. I want to lead us into a deeper mindfulness practice. And so we'll kind of continue with the breath. So go ahead again. Go ahead and relax. And just start by bringing your attention to the breath again. And even though thoughts arise, all the thoughts that come through, even though they try to convince you that they're so important, right now they're really not. And so just allow the thoughts to arise and float away. Sometimes I like to imagine that the thoughts just float out the side of my head and float off to a little teeny black and white TV just over about 100 yards. There's that little teeny black and white TV. It's very small. It's playing out a little movie, playing out the movie of my rambling thoughts. So it's good because now my thoughts have some place to go and they can just naturally go right over there to that little black and white TV and play that little black and white movie. And I know that they're going to be just fine, and anything I need later, I'm going to be able to have. So just let your thoughts just float away. Don't be concerned. They can play out their little movie. That's right. So that you can relax and listen to my voice. So that you can relax and turn inward to connect to the breath and connect to the present moment. Right there at the nostrils, bring all of your attention. Feel the breath move in through the nostrils. So keenly aware of what the breath feels like, just passing through your nose into your lungs and then out. Just so aware of the passing in the breath of the air. That's right. Relaxing even more and settling into this present moment. Aware of the breath passing through the nostrils. Begin to be very aware of the little tiny muscles around your eyes. All around your eyes, just be aware. Aware of the air that brushes across your skin. Right around the eyes and the little muscles around your cheeks. Putting all of your attention there. Just feeling the muscles around the upper cheekbone. And then down around the lips, the upper lip, the bottom lip. Noticing the jaw, noticing if there's any tension in the jaw. Just noticing that as as you attention the jaw, it begins to open and relax even more. The entire face feels so relaxed. Very present. Just aware of what it might feel like under the skin as well, around all those muscles in the face. Aware of the breath, breathing in through the nose. And then aware right there at the jaw and down into the throat. And feel the tiny muscles in the throat. That's right. Just notice whatever's there. Notice the chest and how it moves with every breath. Feel into the texture internally at the heart. Is it open? Is it closed? Is there any tightness? Just see whatever's there and give it full attention. That's right. Just noticing this moment right here, noticing the breath in and out. Noticing the heart, the space in the heart. Noticing the abdomen, the stomach. Is there any tightness? Is it open? Feel into the muscles in the abdomen and how they feel right now, and relax them even more. Relax them even more. That's right. Fully present right here. Feeling deeply into the present moment by bringing deep attention to the body. Feeling into the hips now. And feeling how you may be supported by a chair or a bed or the ground. Just feel into your hips. Notice your legs. Notice your feet, the bottom of the feet. What do they touch right now? That's right. Noticing everything at the bottom of the feet. So much that you might feel a little bit of tingling. Yes. And connecting to the breath and just knowing that right here, this is the moment of now. I am here. Allowing your sense of awareness to just expand and take it all in at one time. I am here. I am being present. It's not even a thought process, it's just an awareness of presence. Let your awareness of now expand to just take in the whole day so far from the time you woke up. Let that be included in your now. Allow your now to expand and take in the whole day till you go to sleep tonight. This whole day is included in this now. Allow the awareness to expand and take it all in. Allow your now to expand to take in all of last week. Just allow it all to be included in your now. Everything that took place in the last week is a part of this moment of now. And then expand your now even more to take in all of the last year. Every part of your last year contributed to this moment. Allow it all to be a part of this moment. Allow your future year to be included in this now moment. That everything that is happening right here in this moment of now is included in the next year as well. Expand your now to take it in. And then expand your now to take in the last 10 years. That everything that took place in the last 10 years has all been a perfect part of this now moment. Let it all be there right now. And the next 10 years, include it all. That's all a part of this now moment. Everything that is happening right now in this moment is contributing to future moments. It's all part of this now. And then allow your expanded awareness of now to completely take in all of your history, all of your life, from the moment you were first conceived. Allow your awareness of now to take it all in. Allow it to take in your whole life, this whole earthly life, this one life. Allow this moment of now to include it all. And then allow the experience of now to take in all lifetimes, yours or someone else, back to the beginning of human life upon the earth. Just take it all in, all a part of this now. And allowing your now to expand, to take in infinite futures, infinite pasts. Allow your now moment to take in everything, to experience the eternal now. Expanded. And from this place of expanded awareness, who is it that is watching all of this? Who is it that is seeing past and future? Who is it that is seeing? I am. Just connecting to awareness, to presence, the higher self, the divine self. I am. That's right. From this higher awareness, choose Choose. What is it that is real? Which self is real? I am. I am love. I am life. I am compassion. I am safe and supported. I am abundantly blessed in every way. I am healthy and vital. Just take a moment to really to see and choose what you want to align with now. What do you choose? And from this expanded awareness and expanded choice, you are like at up on the fourth floor, the observatory of seeing, of being fully in higher consciousness, the ability to see all floors, the ability to see, the ability to be. I am the ability to choose. So from this place, we just finish out with that final knowing that I am life and light and peace and joy, and I am all of this, that I am connected, that I am a part of this presence, that I am this life. And I know that as you go through your week, you will remember this. And as you go through your week, you will see sooner. You will see sooner. And you will be able to go into being, to be present, to connect to the breath, to breathe evenly, to take 90-second pauses, to just breathe and be present so that you can choose which direction to go. That's right. I know as you go into your week that you will be able to do that so much better, that you are one that sees, that you are one that bees, that you are the one that chooses your me's, and that you are experiencing a fantastic week.